Good morning, everyone. How are you? How are you today? Hope you're doing great. And this is the Diana Wright Show live. We begin right now, and we welcome you from around the world and in the United States. Thank you for joining us. And this is, what do we call this? The day Ben Johnson's Day, because it's the day before you get paid and everybody's broke on Thursdays. Not so sure, but that is what I think it is. It is Ben Johnson's Day. So we welcome you to the program and we thank you so much for joining us. And of course, you have to suffer through those ads. The ad block thing, like I said, it works sometimes. It just doesn't work all the time. But you can keep doing it. It doesn't affect my international audience, but it does affect my audience in the US. So Ad Block Plus, that will try to get rid of the ads so you don't have to get upset. But sometimes it works, and I'm telling you, it doesn't work all the time. So let's try to see if it works. Sometimes it's one ad, sometimes it's more than one ad, but what it costs you to get rid of those ads, I just don't think it's worth it. But anyway, what's happening in your Thursday? Hope you opened your boxes of blessings and you found what you wanted from God, and I just hope that you will have enough faith to receive it when you get it, because I'm ready. I'm ready for my blessing to pour down from heaven and get into places that I never dreamt I would get into, but I'm there. But for me, my dreams are endless and supernatural. So wherever I go to, I won't be surprised because I expect to be there. How about that? So anyway, we hope that you will get what you are hoping for, praying for, expecting, and remember the words that we try to get here. But we want to include two more words. We want to include trust and believe. So you're going to have faith, you're going to have hope, and you're going to pray to get the miracles. But I want to add to that by just saying to you, just add trust and believe. Okay? So there we go. We have faith, we have hope. I don't care what order you put it in. You pray, expect your miracles, but then just add for me trust and believe. Because once you believe something and you know something and you know it's going to happen and you are praying for it every single day and you're not giving up, eventually it comes to fruition and you're going, oh my God, I never knew that would happen. But it did. Remember The Secret, that book and that CD, The Secret, that got everyone going about whatever you imagine, whatever you are, intend, whatever your intention is what comes to you. Of course, it's all in the Bible. So we didn't really have to buy the book, The Secret, or the CD to get it. We just have to read our Bibles every day. Some of us, we really can't read the Bible every single day because the scriptures that you love and the ones that affect you, that you're praying with, well, I have mine on my phone on quick, quick access. Now I got a new phone and I don't know how to use it, so I'm going to have to try to figure it out to put that back. Yeah? So I'd like to get my Bible back in to my phone, quick access. So I will go to Joel. I'll go to Deuteronomy 28. I'll go to Matthew or Luke, where the miracle of the man with the withered hand. I will go to Mark 11, of course. I will go to Hebrews 11. So they're just things that you want to get to quickly. Psalm 91 or Psalm 51 or, some of those that you should be reading all the time to just keep the devil off of you and keep your enemies away. But, so I just want you to do that. Get your own system, whatever your system is, whatever works for you. And whatever keeps you up and excited and keeps you having faith and hope and trust and believe and know that God is going to give you the miracles that you're expecting, and try to live in the supernatural. You should truly check out that guy that does that program about It's Supernatural. It's really a good show to watch and to see how things happen. But you have to believe, you have to trust, you have to have faith, you have to have hope. And you simply have to pray. Now, there's a debate about prayer and how much prayer you need to put in. And do I need to pray for 5 minutes every single day? Do I need to pray for 10 minutes, half an hour? How much time do I really need to pray? The next preacher I have on here, I'm going to really ask that question. And the next big question that I have, that I was discussing with my mom over the weekend, is this. The Bible tells you about Adam and Eve and Abraham and everyone else and Jesus. And those people have all been presented to us as white people. Yeah? And then you have Solomon, which talks about, the first chapter in Solomon that talks about the fact that he was dark-skinned. So how and who started the dark-skin part of the whole journey? Who did that? Who was that person? I don't know if there's anyone out there listening or watching that can actually tell me that. Who is the person in the Bible that started the chain of producing people of color? Who is the person in the chain that started producing people who are Indians, who are Chinese, who are Muslims, you know, that block of people, Iran and those other countries? Where in the Bible can I find that? I don't think I've found it. So I must be either missing it or it's not there. So we were having that discussion over the weekend because my mom said, you know, someone else brought it up in another discussion she was having and nobody could come up with the answer. So I am looking forward to the next minister, pastor, prophet, prophetess that I have on this show to pose that question to them. Where did that begin, and how much time do you really need to pray? Do you need to put down an hour every single day for prayer? Do you have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning when they say that, you know, the spirits are up and you need to pray to fight them off or whatever? Where in the Bible is that, and how do you decide how much time you need to pray in the mornings or in the afternoon or in the evenings when you do pray? Because most people seem to pray morning, noon, and night. Well, you know, other people pray 7 times a day or whatever, how many times a day. So I just simply wonder about that and want to know. I truly want to know this because I have a very inquiring mind, and I truly want to know this because no one could come up with the answer in the discussion that my mom was having. So I am now going to try to find the answer. I didn't want to go online and research it. I wanted to hear it from a minister's mouth because they study the Bible much more than we do. They understand the Bible much more than we do. Some of them do anyway. So I want to get that broken down to me. Judith is supposed to be calling us this morning to continue what the lightning took out on Tuesday morning. So I hope she will be able to join us. I'm not sure, but I think she should be joining us this morning to continue the conversation. But if you are out there and you know the answer to this, I truly would like to engage you in this conversation. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to wait until I find a minister to come on and address that as part of our general conversation. Who started that chain of people of color, Chinese, Indians, whatever other color you want to put? Where in the Bible is it? Yet we can begin with Solomon, but Solomon's parents, you know, how, because obviously he talked about the fact that he was the darkest one among his siblings. So how did that happen? I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. This is the Diana Wright Show, where we welcome you and we invite you to love yourself. Join our crusade, or I Love Me crusade, and don't forget, April 30th is International I Love Me Day. We had the first one this year, second one next year, and we're going to continue until we get everyone on this planet to love themselves. Because, I heard a preacher saying yesterday that she's not come across a time in her life where so many people are insecure. What are you insecure about? And she was talking about the whole love thing, and I said, oh, I guess everybody's getting on my train, but I'm sure there are preachers, they've been talking about that too for a while. I just came in and gave it a name, like I gave my CD that I wrote and put on CD years ago, but just didn't get to pursue. Because in life, there comes roadblocks and tragedies that blocks you from getting to where you want to go. So, how much time should you be spending with God in the mornings, or in the evenings, or at midday? Who decides that? Who comes up with that? And I don't want to hear about the Prophet Muhammad. Yeah, no, I don't want to hear that, because I know, the Muslims will probably tell me that. I want to hear it from another perspective. So I'm going to work on that. Like I said, I'm going to resist trying to research it online. I'm going to resist that. I want to hear it from a pastor, minister, prophet, prophetess, or bishop, or apostle. They have so many titles in the church. It gets to be heavy. And everybody nowadays is a prophetess. I'm watching the TV last night and I'm going, okay, there's someone running across the stage and I hear them saying, oh, prophetess, come on and prophesy over here. So, who do you believe and trust? And, they're telling this lady to put her hands on these letters that they get and bless it. And, oh, my God, you just don't know what to believe these days. But anyway, we'll try to decipher the things for you and give you the right journey to take on the Diana Wright Show Live. We'll try our best to do so. Anyway, I have a major question for Best Western Hotel. I'm not sure you've heard of this story. It is a story that has been carried, but they seem to have just figured out what caused the problem. There's a Best Western that an elderly couple died in the hotel because they were staying in a particular room. I think it's room 335 or whatever the number is. Okay. So that couple died. They couldn't figure out mysteriously why they died, and no one, could come up with an answer. So in my mind, as a lay person, as a person who does not own a hotel, if I own Best Western, I would make sure that I would not put anyone else in that room until I figured out why the persons died in that room. But no. Best Western actually put someone else in that room, a young man and his mom, and the young boy died. The mom got sick, but she didn't die. So I'm trying to figure out, does Best Western have a whole lot of money that they want to give away? Why they did this? Because yes, you're gonna have to figure out. I'm sure the parent, whomever is concerned with that elderly couple, they must have kids somewhere that are gonna sue them. Yeah. So they put another set of people in that same room before figuring out why those people died, and someone else died. So now they have another layer of problems. So eventually, yesterday, they figured out that it was carbon monoxide that was coming through the AC vent in their room, and that's what killed the couple and the young boy. And it was coming from, I guess, whatever they have outside the hotel, whatever those machines are that gives you AC and I guess a standby generator and all those kind of things. So how does that happen? So now, instead of just asking when you go to a hotel for them to change your sheets in front of you, because that's something that I do. When I go to any hotel, I don't care how fancy it is, they have to give me a fresh change of sheets in my presence. Yeah? Because what they do sometimes is they will tell you, oh, we just changed it this morning. Yes, you did? No, I don't believe that. Just do it in front of me. Is that too much to ask? No. So they do it in front of you, and I will even help them to make the bed up. Okay? They take the sheets off, but I'll help them to put the clean ones on. But I'm not going to sleep on sheets that I'm not quite sure if you changed this morning. And the pillowcases, and normally I ask for fresh pillows too. That's just my thing. Okay? So now we have to go add to this now another burden. When you go to a hotel, you better check that vent, that AC vent, because you just don't know what's coming out of it. So what a burden on the consumer every single time. Yes, you can sue these people and get some money later on, but it doesn't bring back your dead mother and father. And for that mother, it's not going to bring her son back. Why is it that people are operating and not kind of doing what they're supposed to do when they're supposed to do it? I would assume that if they were servicing these rooms and checking the AC unit and making sure people go in and check the rooms every day and that kind of thing, that someone would have realized that something is wrong in this room. So 3 people have to die for us to know it's carbon monoxide? Oh my goodness. Wow. Best Western. I don't think that's going to do very well for your image from now on. I've never really stayed there, but I do know that a lot of people do. So on your journey now to a hotel, please check the AC vent. Because they showed the vents and, all the black stuff that was coming out of it. It's just amazing to me how these things happen because people are just not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Anyway, the military commanders are still in the judicial process for sexual abuse and complaints in the military. Now, Senator Carl Levin, he won because he said that if you leave them out, then you have a problem. But I must congratulate Senator Gillibrand from New York. She lost, but she was so passionate about her argument to try to get them out the process. But then when you kind of evaluate it, you realize that they just need to do something about all these women and men who are being sexually abused in the military by their bosses. But then the problem becomes, if your boss is the one that is abusing you, how do you deal with that? And how do you deal with the retribution that comes when you complain about something that's going on? And the military, as we all know, is so tight-lipped and so closed. Is this going to change? As I watch them on Capitol Hill, and everyone dressed in their nice decorated uniforms and stuff. And I'm wondering, these guys, why is it that people who have some power believe they just can abuse the little people beneath them and get away with it? Why is that? Well, they say power corrupts. And money is just the demon. I don't think money is the demon. I think if you just pray to your money, then it becomes a demon. But you can't do anything without money, or nothing much really. It's the love that you have for that money that is a problem. Like you go to some people's houses and they pray to the furniture that they have there. Yeah. And, you kind of, they don't want you to sit there. Or some people, they have china in their armoire and they don't want to use the china until guests come. You are the guest. Whatever you have in your house, you're supposed to be buying it for your own enjoyment. And then I like to watch HGTV, and I see all these programs, and everybody that's looking for a house is saying, oh, this is not good enough for entertainment. Is everybody entertaining every night except me? Because if you watch those programs, you believe that everybody on this planet, they're buying their houses and they must have a guest room and they must have a place to entertain their... How many friends do you have? And how many nights per week are you entertaining? It seems to me the impression is that we're entertaining every night. Who has that kind of money to entertain every night, unless you are Bill Gates or Zuckerberg or one of those guys? And I am positive that they're not entertaining every night. And they're not having 5 children either. We need to check ourselves to see what we're doing. So, anyway, who will take care of the problem in the military when the sexual abuse is being done by someone of power? Who is the person that will do that? But I am, so proud of Senator Gillibrand, because she just fought with all the passion she had, but she lost anyway. But of course, you have to stand up for something. Otherwise, you'll be standing up for nothing. Yeah. Okay. There's this phrase that I like to repeat all the time. It's a quotation. I'll hold that because I think this is Judith. Hi, Judith. I know this must be you. Yes, because I was hoping that you did not forget, because this is not your regular day, so you would not forget to come on and continue your lightning strike. Since you were struck out by lightning, I was hoping that you'd come back this morning and kind of finish what you started on Tuesday, okay? So I had an opportunity to come back on and apologize and tell the people, and I uploaded it actually. So it's up there, and it's also on my website, I think, because I think it was on the website also. So I wanted you to get your own chance to apologize and continue your conversation.
Thank you so much, Diane. I appreciate it.
Okay, so
I tried to connect again.
It just wouldn't go, because I think the phone took a longer time to come back than everything else, because everything else came back right up. My computer, all the buttons here, and the machines that I have in front of me, so I was able to go on. But I figured, no, I have to let Judith come on and finish her conversation before next Tuesday. So,
I
yeah.
certainly appreciate it.
Okay, so I want you to continue. I know we were talking about the resume and the cover letter being just the fact that you are introducing yourself to try to get an interview. And when you go to the interview, you must make sure that you are ready to tell the rest of your story, basically, right? And you should also make sure the fonts are the same when you do your resume itself. You can bold the curriculum vitae or resume, whatever you title it, but you should not be changing the style as you continue through it. So I think that's where we had left off. So we'll just continue there.
Okay, yes. When you do your resume, it is very important that you keep the pages to a minimum of 2.
Okay, 2 pages, all right.
So make sure first of all, you need to have an objective statement.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have your experience, part of your experience, more current, of course, and your education.
Right.
It's not necessary to put the date of your graduation. If, let's say you had gone to college and you graduated in a particular day, it's not necessary to document that.
Okay.
The important thing is that you put your degree that you earned and the name and address of the college you attended.
Oh, you have to put the address of the college.
It is good to do that, but
Okay.
if there is not enough room, then that's fine. You put the name of the college and the degree you earned. But the date is not important. Why the date is not important? Because some people will look at the resume and they see that and say, oh, that's an old fogey.
Ah, so you get age discrimination right away.
Yes, ma'am. And vice versa for the younger person.
Right.
So, and even though you have a lot to offer, sometimes they kind of put it aside and they move on to the next and so on and so forth. So I recommend that you don't put that in there, because you probably be able to shine and sell yourself so well and sell what you have if they hadn't seen that.
Ah, okay. So no dates.
No, I would suggest that you don't do that. Additionally, it's important that you send in to People 490, this is your references. It helps us to do a checks and balance ahead of time.
Right.
So that when an employer calls in for someone, we already have the information. In addition to that, we have to do the background checks and stuff. And talking about background checks as it comes up, let me just say,
okay,
if an employer hires someone and does not check the background, that employer is breaking the law.
Because that's kind of standard right now, right?
It is.
Okay.
Right? It's very important. If you don't check the background, you're considered a negligent employer.
Oh, okay.
Because, for example, if something should populate in the future that is not so nice, guess who's going to be in trouble?
Ah, okay.
Not only that employee, but you're going to be in trouble because you had the responsibility to make sure this person wasn't a sex offender or da-da-da-da-da-da.
So People 490 is doing the background check before you actually send the person out, right?
We try to do all of that ahead of time.
Okay.
They have to come and go. And what they need to know also, it's not free.
Well, we would know that. I think everybody should know because
people ask that question. And you know what? I think, in my mind, my opinion, is that they are aware that it's not free, but if they can get away with it, getting it for free, they are.
Yeah, but when you go online to do background check for anything or anyone, you have to pay. It's not free online, and the only place I would think it would be free would be online, and it's not free online.
Right. So I had a lady who I spoke to at an event, and she was asking questions, and I answered them to the best of my ability, of course. And she wanted to know, do we have to pay for this service? And if we have to pay, how much do we have to pay? And why it is that people have to pay? What I try to educate people on, this is a business, and the only way the business can be operational for now and the future is that if they have money, rent has to be paid. Light bill, phone bill, internet bill, the whole works, and you have to get a salary. So how are you going to function without being paid? So if I'm providing service for you, I am going out there, I'm getting the employers to hire somebody that I just put through training and help them with their resumes, doing job readiness with them, doing all of this with them. And I said, okay, now go for your interview, get the job. You're now going to be collecting a check every week or every 2 weeks or every month, right? The employer is now happy with your services. The employer is out there doing good. You're doing good. And I provided all the services, and I get zero.
No. Well, I think anybody is thinking that is crazy anyway.
It is, but they try to push it in your face as if to say, you are a monster. People, I've heard a mother complaining that her son went to the employment consultant, and when the employment consultant told her son that he had to pay X amount of dollars, she ripped that person apart so badly. They're a rip-off. They're thieves.
Wow.
They're that. How does she expect them to pay that? What is it? And I said to her, he has to pay. That agency is providing a service for your son.
Exactly.
You expect the agent to be paid.
But let me ask you this, Judith. I wanted to figure that out because I'm glad you brought it up, because is it possible for you to get paid from there, like, you know, when you rent a place, and if it's an agency that finds you the apartment, you know, rents it for you, you have to give them that first month's rent. Isn't that how it works in your industry, or it works differently?
No, that was in general. That's the real estate setup. That's how it works. 9 out of 10 times you have to pay first, last, and security.
Right. So how does it work in your business? In your business, how does it work? Are people paying you up front, or are they paying you when they get the job? How does that work?
It depends on the situation.
Oh, okay.
It depends on the situation. It's not something that I can just give off the top.
Okay.
There are employers that we can have agreement with.
Mm-hmm.
There are employees that we have agreement with. But it depends on what it is and how we made that agreement. And there's a contract that must be signed.
Right. Okay.
If you have to pay for the service I provide you, then you have to sign in advance to say, yes, I agree to pay people 490 10 cents.
Okay.
Once I'm employed.
Okay. All right. I got that.
Right. So that's something that's important.
Okay. So for those who are coming to People 490 for any kind of service, please, ladies and gentlemen, the service is not for free. Nothing is for free. And I keep telling everybody that. The only thing that is for free is when you breathe. And even that they're trying to charge you for these days. So please, when you go for any service, I don't care what it is. And if people are trying to tell you that things are for free, normally they're going to rip you off at some other point. Okay. Exactly. So seriously, you really need to keep that in mind. And I'm a stickler for something like that. People should not expect people to do things for free. Okay. Because when someone is promising you free things, there's a catch behind that free. Exactly. Yes, I promise you there's a catch behind that free. Okay?
Okay. It's not free.
Yeah, it's not free. Nothing in America is free.
I mean, you think about it. Think about it. If someone is working on your behalf, why do you think they should do it for free? That's their living. That's their livelihood.
Well, you just told me about the mother because, and she must know that it can't be for free. How can it be for free for your son to go and get a job through an agency?
What conscience would you have to, okay, I helped you to get a job. You go out there now and you're working and you're having a good time. Oh, go over to that lady. She just got me a job and I didn't have to pay her a cent.
Exactly. That wouldn't even make any sense.
$55,000 a year, girl.
Well, you'd be getting a whole lot of clients. You'd be getting so many clients you wouldn't know what to do with them. Oh my goodness, if it was free. No, nothing in life, especially in this country, it's not for free. And if they tell you it's for free, I promise you there's a catch.
So,
okay.
I asked you to call 754-223-2410. 754-223-2410. And we have a recruiting event coming up this Saturday, the 15th.
Yes, look how it came up so fast. I mean, I'm like, whoa, it's the 15th already.
Yes. So bring your resume along and your cover letter. Bring it on in. Let us vet it. Let us go over it. Let us do things. There are employers out there, Diana, who want to hire. And you will hear them say it time and time again. But the people are not qualified.
Not qualified,
They're coming into their offices not properly dressed. They have this, their whole demeanor is just not right. Their personality is not right. And they cannot find the right person. They have one position and they have, let's say, 50 people applying for it, and out of the 50, they all get turned down. There's a gentleman at the airport who needs a lot of people this job, paying over $55,000 a year.
Wow.
Work. And he could not find the right people that were coming in. And some of them, yes, they can do certain things, but
they're not trained, basically.
It is ridiculous. And even right there, I was there giving out cards and whatnot. And still the people who went and took the application from him, they didn't even come and say, okay, I would like to come for job readiness training or nothing like that. They just, take the application and move. And then when we met again, the employer that is now, we met, nobody got the job.
Oh, my.
Because they weren't there with him. They weren't on his page.
Wow. Well, I don't know. I think it's something about people I think everyone, when they're looking for a job, they think they know what it is that the employer is looking for, and they're not understanding that employers now, especially now, it's so much more difficult to get a job these days, that if you go in and you just make a slip, you're just not getting the job. And I think a lot of people, when they go in for interviews, they figure, okay, I'm going to ace this thing, so I don't have to do any preparation. Some of them go to an interview, they don't even know anything about the company that they're applying for the job from. So stuff like that. And they are asking you questions about those things and expecting you at the end of that interview to ask them questions about the company. So if you don't know anything about that company, you don't have any questions to ask.
That's right.
Yeah, so I understand what you're going through with that process, because a lot of people just believe that they know everything, and I don't need anybody to help me to go find no job.
And yesterday I was looking at a young lady. Mm-hmm. She didn't come to me. I was just passing this place, and she was talking to someone about jobs and whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was passing, and I overheard the conversation, and she was talking. And she said she was on her way from the interview.
Oh.
And she's fussing about, what they were asking and stuff. But being in the business that I am, I must admit I eavesdropped too.
But of course, you want to hear what happened.
And so I pretended I was doing my shopping, but I was hearing too. And she was fussing about questions that were being asked, and what do they expect, and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that struck me, Diana, was the way the young lady was dressed.
Oh, okay.
She had on a tightly fitted, it's like one of those exercise.
I bet it's a miniskirt kind of thing.
and she had that on. No, it's a pants, so it's like a sweatpants.
Oh, okay.
Right? But it's the one that is closest to the body, and she had on a blouse and it covers her butt, but it goes a little further down her waist. Mm-hmm. Okay, and it's a long sleeve, and her hair was so everywhere except the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, but I didn't know you could wear those kind of pants to interviews.
Well, that's the point I'm trying to make. She was telling her person on the other end of the phone that she was on her way. That is why I know that she was coming from the interview.
Wow.
That's what struck me. Even though I heard all the other stuff, just looking at the young lady, the way she was dressed.
She would not have gotten that job.
If that person had any kind of an interview skills at all, that employer, I am thinking that's the reason she was turned down, and she wasn't going to get that job. Wow. And she was saying, well, what should I know about that company? I'm not even working there yet. Then I said to myself, poor thing, she needs training. So then I went to my car, packed my stuff in my car, and somehow it was just burning in the pit of my stomach. Just go back and try and get a hold of the young lady and say, here is one of my business cards.
Yeah.
Call me. You need service, but I'm not going to tell her, like that.
Yeah.
And I turned back, and I went, and she disappeared.
Oh, ouch.
I should have seized the moment.
Yeah, you should have seized
and I didn't want to interrupt her and, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I couldn't find where she disappeared to.
Yeah, wow.
But that struck me. I went home, and it was still with me, and this morning it's with me. And I'm thinking, how could you go to an interview and dress like that? And how could you think that you're going to get the interview, ask a question about the company, and you don't think that's a responsibility you have as an interviewee to answer it well and make the best and shine.
Exactly.
Let that person know how much you know about his company or her company, for that matter, and what you can do, what do you have to offer them. You're going to tell them out.
Yeah, and I bet that was a young. I bet that was a young person, right?
She was a young person. I'm sure she was in her 20s or
they just think they know everything, and they truly know crap. I'm serious. And I say it all the time. Young people, when they graduate from high school or college, they think they've arrived and they know everything they need to know, and truly, 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 they don't know. But they don't want to admit it, and some adults are like that too. I want to tell you that. It's not just young people.
But then again, the adults who are like that, they weren't aware of stuff themselves, and they grew up into no information age, because their interest is just not there. So their interest falls into other categories, and that's where they are every day, and that's what they do every day. So the things that they really should know, they don't, because they don't put any interest in finding these things out.
The information,
It's sad, and that is why sometimes they get those menial jobs. Because they might even graduate from high school, and they could have gotten a decent job. Well-paying, I would say. When I say well-paying, I shouldn't have used the word well, but a reasonable pay job, more than the $7.98 that is required per hour now. They're getting a $10 an hour job.
Okay.
And they could have gotten that. But guess what? Because they do the things they do or don't do the things they do, they get a $7.98 per hour job. Now, there's a big difference of $2 and change, because if you take the bus, that could be your bus fare, that difference.
Okay, I have
and just because you don't do right, you get the menial job that pay less money.
Right. Okay, my special guest inside the program this morning is Judith, and she's from People490. It's people490.com, and the number to call is 754-223-2410. That's 754-223-2410. And Judith, I want to ask you something, because this really bugs me. It bugged me from I left college, and it still bugs me now because I had an experience with it this week. When you go for a job, fresh out of college or fresh out of high school, even if you're saying, I want an internship, why are people asking you for experience? How on earth are these kids going to get experience if they're just coming out of school? What are these employers thinking when they ask that question?
Well, I can say, because I'm not in their head, I wouldn't be able to answer from that perspective.
Yeah, but just from being in the business, how do you even...
Where I sit. And I am thinking that in some cases where questions like those will be asked by an interviewer, because they're not aware of the person's background, who they're interviewing. They might not have gotten a resume ahead of time so they could review that, or whomever recommended them, they might not have gotten the information they should have gotten before that person came to them. So they didn't know that that person has no experience.
So how do you, though, at People490, how do you, don't you get kids who are green, who don't have any experience? How do you help them?
Well, you have to present it to the employer, to let the employer know that this is a high school graduate, person is a high school graduate, therefore, this person has no work experience, or it's a high school graduate but did internship at the ABC, the company, so has 6 months of experience, because that is considered work experience, working experience.
Okay.
Even though it was an internship or volunteer work, it's still work that you did.
Okay.
So that counts. And I try to educate the employer to the person's background.
Okay.
So when the person goes there shouldn't be a question of, but if they put out an ad to say, I am looking for someone with 1 year working experience or 5, then you're not going to send them someone who do not have that 1 year or 5 years, and there is a reason for them to ask for the experience because of what they're doing in the company. And they might need somebody who's a self-starter. You cannot take someone who is right out of high school to go into a job like that. The person has to have the experience. Now, there are positions in the company that you could hire a graduate, and you're going to tell them, persons like myself, and they say, look, this is a high and that person needs a break. So you're going to find an entry-level position for that person if you think that person has the personality and all that it takes, otherwise from the experience. You're going to accommodate that person.
Okay. All right.
And sometimes it works out good for the employer too, because guess what? They pay someone who has 3 years experience $15 an hour, but they can pay the high school person $10 an hour and train that person.
Okay.
It becomes a plus for them in some cases. So it's just communication, and be honest about your communication.
Okay, all right, great. Because, you know, I when I left college, I was going, okay, where do you expect me to get the experience from? I was just in college, okay? And then this week I stopped at a place and asked, okay, if someone is going into a field, like say, you know, selling, making perfumes or whatever, could they volunteer at your store and just see and get a feel of the, you know, what you do and blah, blah. And she goes, oh, no, but you'd have to have experience. And I'm going, lady, I said volunteer, okay? So I just wanted to just smack her upside her head. And just her attitude, you know, how old are you? And, you know, that kind of thing. I'm like, yeah, we're not trying to beg you anything. We just want to be there to observe and you know, get a feel for the industry. Yeah? So.
And sometimes it depends on who you talk to, because that person might not even be the person you should have spoken to.
Yeah, well, I spoke to them. I asked for the manager, and she's the one who came out. You know,
okay.
So yeah, so that was.
And some of them are very selfish.
Oh, wow! Oh my God!
Some of them are timid of whomever is coming in.
Well,
they're gonna lose their job, and
yeah, you need to start training people to start their own business, Judith. Is what you need to do.
Some people can be selfish in some way.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to kind of let them slide. They'll come around eventually.
Okay.
So sometimes what a lot of employers will do, you know, is to get someone to do volunteer work, and they don't have to pay them, and the work gets done.
Exactly.
It's to do.
Yes.
At the end of the day, they save money, and the work is done.
Exactly.
I don't understand why an employer would want to take on, you know, somebody if they do have a space for something like that.
Exactly.
And, you know, they can, at the end of the day, maybe Christmas time or whatever, give them a check, you know, to say, thank you for your service.
Right.
Appreciate it. So I used to volunteer in Palm Beach. And every year they used to have a volunteer gala. And they give us a certificate, and we would have movie stars come to speak, and we were all excited to see movie star with the guest signature and all this kind of stuff. But it's free work, and you're doing real work.
Exactly, you do.
Real work.
Yeah, real work.
But it's free, and I used to do that. And guess what? It helped me, because when I applied to the bank, to work at the bank at that time, and I said I'm volunteering at this particular place, they were so excited. But guess what? She knew the lady who I volunteered with.
Okay, so there you go.
I got the job on the spot. I don't know if that's the only reason I got the job, but I got it.
Yeah.
So I became a bank executive.
Okay, so the lesson is that young people, you can try to get volunteer positions before you actually get that job.
Yes.
Yeah, because a lot of young people, you know, they don't want to work for free. I don't blame them, but you know, hey, sometimes you have to work for free to get to where you want to go.
Exactly. Good point, Diana.
Yeah.
You have to, because if I was working and I had a car to maintain and the whole 9 yards, but I made whatever sacrifice needed to be made, and I was there every day doing the work that needs to be done. And it helped me to get the real paying job. So people out there, please try your best. Do the best you can. Don't give up. And don't go sit on Uncle Sam and say, oh, they have to take care of me because. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Help yourself.
Yeah, help yourself is a really good piece of advice. Help yourself. Okay, so we've gotten through that. I've taken you off track into something else.
It's okay. It's still in the ballpark.
Yes, but it's still in the ballpark of what you do and how you try to help people to get jobs. Because the important thing, if you're not going to start a business, you obviously need to work for somebody. So you need to get the proper training and the proper advice and guidance to get to where you want to go. And as you mentioned, I think on Tuesday you were mentioning that you're trying to help people to get into career-driven industries as opposed to just getting a job.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anything else that we wanna finish from where we did not do on Tuesday before you have to run?
Well, I just want to remind the listeners the importance of having a good resume. Mm-hmm. Making sure when you get that call for that interview, you're properly dressed.
Okay.
Making sure you are on time. Mm-hmm. When your phone rings, and I find that people call my number, leave a message, and then you call them 2 times and no answer, and then sometimes you call a 3rd time, mm-hmm. and no answer. Of course, you leave a message, they'll call you back. If you're serious about finding a job, be available. Yes, I understand. You might even be in an interview when we call you back. Mm-hmm. But return the call to say, well, I was in an interview or whatever the case may be. I'm sorry I missed your call and so on. And so.
Right.
But they call you and you can't get them when you call them back. Mm-hmm. So answer your phone, people, if you really are.
If you're serious about getting jobs, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Answer your phone. And remember, our working hours are from 6:30 in the evening. So there's no excuse. They say, oh, you were closed. No, we're open, effective, 6:30. Sometimes we're there earlier, but 6:30 in the evening. So we're there up until 9:30, all those times in the evening, mm-hmm. and on Saturdays. So
okay, so you're doing that time frame to accommodate people, especially if they already have a job. They can still make it.
Yes.
Okay. And if you're looking for a job in the daytime, you can still come in the evenings for whatever training you need for that job.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so tell us about the recruiting drive that's this Saturday. My goodness, June 15th came really fast.
I know, yeah. I know. It's just, before you know it,
yeah. Yes, it's crazy because I remember talking about it and I kept saying, oh, well, it's June 15th, but then it's this Saturday.
Yes, it's this Saturday coming up, and we need you to come and please be patient. Mm-hmm. Pack a lot of patience because you're not the only person that's going to be there. Mm-hmm. And remember that we need respect for others and respect for yourself. Mm-hmm. Do not take over other people's space.
Okay.
So if you get there at 9:30 and someone was there at 9 o'clock, don't try
to break the line. Yes. Okay.
If I notice that is happening, then that does not sit well with us.
Mm-hmm. But that's not a good attitude to have anyway, even trying to find a job, right?
Right. Yes. That is why it's not going to sit well with me.
Yes. So please, people, when you go to the recruitment drive this weekend, it's going to be this Saturday, the 15th of June, and it starts at 9, finishes at 1, and it's going to be in Inverary, right, Judith?
Correct. Correct. Mm-hmm. It's at the corporate park in Inverary. As a matter of fact, people, if you know the area, it's where the Lauderhill City Hall used to be on Inverary, in that actual building, in that park right there. Right. It's the first building as you turn in, and you just come in and open the door.
Okay, so it's a corporate park, and what's the exact address?
3800.
3800.
Inverary Boulevard.
Inverary Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Is there a room
and there
number?
There will be a sign, at least put on the door, to attract you to where you need to come.
Okay, so it should be easy to find anyway, because it's quite.
Yes, it's not hard.
Right. So it's 3,800.
And there's a hotel on the other side of the road, so just in case.
Just in case.
There's a hotel there.
There's a hotel there. That's a landmark, the hotel.
Yes, a landmark.
Okay. All right. So it's 9 o'clock on Saturday. My goodness, I'm saying on Saturday. Now, I don't need to say June 15th anymore. This Saturday, and I hope the weather is good. And even if the weather is not good, people, and you need a job, you need to go. Just don't use rain as an excuse for anything in Florida. I was just giving, no, seriously, I was just giving my daughter that lesson last week. The lesson is, if you live in Florida, where rain falls like crazy in the summertime and you have something to do, do not allow that to prevent you from doing what you're supposed to do. Unless the other person on the other, like Judith will call and say, sorry, the thing is canceled because it's thundering or whatever. Okay? People should just respect that and not say you're not going to go to something because a little rain is falling. If you're going to
think about it, if you're living up in Chicago, for example.
Yeah, and if you're going, but not only that,
sit in your house and don't go to work.
Yes, and if they're going to a party, they go to the party in the rain.
Oh, yes. This is Diana Hightower.
Yeah, so if you can go to the party in the rain and you can go to the mall in the rain, you can go to the recruitment drive that's going to make you have the money to go to the mall. How about that?
Thank you.
All right, Miss Judith. So
thank you so much. You have a blessed day and enjoy the rest of your week.
And the same to you. And I will definitely be repeating this until Saturday, so people get it. And I remind them, if it rains, you're still on.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, that was Judith from People 490. So folks out there who are looking for jobs, and I know that there are lots of people looking for jobs, all you need is a resume and a cover letter. If it's not good enough, People 490 will help you to make it good. But this is a recruitment drive for people who are looking for jobs. So I'm sure you can go there, and if you need help with your resume, she will set up another appointment for you to do so, to get your resume and your cover letter, because that cover letter can be a little tricky, and also writing your objective might not be the easiest thing for a lot of people. Yeah? So you need a little help. Don't be ashamed or afraid for asking. Please, people, do not live in fear and be not afraid to ask questions. Remember, I had my good friend here, Dorothy Leeds. Her book is entitled Questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask questions. It's better for you to ask and get an answer than not ask and go home questioning. Why didn't I ask? Okay? So please, and the address is 3800 Inverary Boulevard. That's in Lauderhill. She said it's next door to the hotel, and it's a corporate park. And her number is 754-223-2410. That's 754-223-2410. That takes place this Saturday at 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. And also, if you're looking for services for training and all of that, her office is opened at 6:30 in the evening or before for your accommodation, because just in case you work, or because remember now, she's trying to move you into a career path as opposed to getting just a job. Okay? A career path is always the better path to go down that journey. So Judith from People 490, and if you miss anything that I just said, you can also go to YouTube when I upload the show. It takes about a few hours to do so, and get the information from there. Otherwise, go to people490.com, and it's dianawrighttv.webs.com. Go to the YouTube icon at the bottom of the page if you missed this show, to get the information that you need. It's very important. And if you don't have a job, don't sit there and be depressed about the whole thing. Try to get up, look in the mirror, tell yourself you love yourself, pray to God, do whatever you need to do, jump up and down, beat yourself up, and then step out and go and get this interview, go to this recruitment drive and find a new job. Okay? And please, young people, especially if you're going for an interview, you can't wear the same clothes you wear to the mall to an interview. Two different things. And if it's raining and you have an interview, or it's raining on Saturday before the recruiting drive, do not use it as an excuse to not go. It's still going to be on. Unless Judith calls you and tells you that it's canceled, please go. Okay? Because we need people to be employed so people can be not so depressed and insecure anymore about not having jobs. All right? So thank you so much for that. Judith, and we're gonna continue here with one more story before we go. Oh, it's almost time to go. Wow. That time kind of flew by so fast. So, we will see you tomorrow morning at 10:30 right here on the Diana Wright Show live. Dax is still away, and I trust he'll be back soon so we can start up Wellness Wednesday and the Men Speak on Thursday, which would be this evening. I was trying to get someone else to be on there with you, but that didn't work out. So we'll see you tomorrow morning for Wow Big Friday. We have lots of stories on our Wow list, and we will join you tomorrow. So have a great day. Be blessed, stay blessed, and be encouraged. And also, I gave a challenge to diabetics yesterday, and I want to remind you, people who are diabetic, I'm asking you, please, for the next 21 days, take out the carbs and the sugar out of your diet for 21 days. Please. We need to get rid of this epidemic situation of people being diabetic. No carbs, no sugar for 21 days, and tell me how you feel. All diabetics, I'm reaching out to each and every one of you, no matter where you live on this planet. I would like for you to please do something. We need to stop this diabetes thing in its tracks. It causes too many other problems for people. I don't want to see you going blind or losing your toes or cutting off your fingers or your foot or something. I want you to live, love yourself, and enjoy the rest of your life in peace. So once you do that for 21 days, see how you feel. And I guarantee you're going to feel better. And if you're diabetic and you truly can't do it on your own, maybe you should just get Rad Wellness, the 21-day detox, and try that. Maybe that will help you. So it's Rad, the number 4, the letter U, rad4u.com. They will help you. Just tell them Diana sent you, all right? So I'm just trying to get people who are diabetic to just stop this epidemic, because everybody I meet is diabetic. That's ridiculous. And diet can help you to not be? Come on now, let's do that. So look in the mirror, tell yourself I love me, and don't forget it's just a sandwich. Love in the middle, I, and then me at the two ends. And you get I love me. It's so easy to remember and to say. So thank you so much for joining me, and hope you have a great, blessed day. Please stay prayed up. Au revoir. Adios and ciao. And if you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it was never yours. Don't forget, the party is still on October 5. The White Fundraising Party, courtesy of Save a Life Jamaica Foundation. Please, you got to make that a date. I'll be there, and you need to be there too. And it's gonna be a splendid affair. So start getting your white outfit ready to come and party with me and Navlet Gale and all the other board members as we party with you. But while we're partying, we're trying to save lives. It's only going to cost you $30, and I know you can afford it. If you start saving even now, you can. $1 a day will get you to 30 by the time we get to October 5. So, and if you don't, you don't have to go buy an outfit for that. I'm sure you have some white clothes in your closet waiting to come and show off your style at the party for Save a Life Jamaica Foundation, where we try to save lives and do good for people. When you do good and when you help others who are less fortunate, you feel good about yourself. Remember, when you receive prosperity or you receive blessings from God, it's not for you to keep it to yourself. It is for you to share that blessing, share your talent, share your gifts. And when you get to where you want to go, people, like all those stars who are in their places, try to help others to get there too. Don't be jealous about the fact that they're going to come and make it and pass you. Just give a helping hand, because a lot of those stars, they talk about what they do and but try to reach them. You can't get to them. You have to pass through 10 layers of people to get to them. It shouldn't be that way. And when you write them or you email them, all they do is capture your email They don't even answer you personally. They start begging you money after that, or they start inviting you to their thing, or whatever it is. I can name names, but I won't. So, if you are out there and you're a star and you're more privileged than a lot of people, please don't be like that. If people reach out to you, you need to answer. And don't tell me that you get 10,000 letters every day and all that kind of stuff. That's a cop-out. It truly is a cop-out. You're never too busy to respond. People took the time to write to you, send you an email, or however they try to reach out to you, and you're going to be so big and mighty and popular and Miss Celebrity or Mr. Celebrity or Mr. President or Mr. Politician, and you can't respond? Come on. Let's not do that. Let us be humble, live in humility, and try to help a sister out or a brother out of their place. If you can be of help, why shouldn't you help? And I'm so tired of these celebrities. They're talking about, oh, we get so many requests and so many letters, and so we can't respond to all of them. Yes, you can, because you have a staff. Why do you have a staff? And if you don't have a staff, take your time and read every letter. The people took time to write you. You must give them back that respect. So, if you missed my show today, I ask you and invite you to go on my website or go to YouTube and see the shows that you missed. It is important for you to gather the information, because a lot of you need the information I'm giving out. So, celebrities out there, I'm just reaching out to you. Don't be a snoot and a snob once you get there. Try to help a sister or a brother up to get to where you are. Don't be thinking selfishly to think that that person is going to come and steal your thunder or your star. No. Give people opportunities when you have the way and the will and the withal to help them. That's what we're supposed to be doing as God's children and God's people. So, answer those letters, answer those emails, and do not tell me that you have too many to answer. Okay? As a celeb. Take care and have a great day. And hope that whatever you're dreaming for, it will come to fruition. Be blessed and stay prayed up. It's important to do so. Ciao. Dooby dooby doo.